Mm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 4040 Network. I am your host, Granny She Is, and I am joined by two of the world's most intelligent, handsome men on the planet. We're going to let them introduce
Ooh.
themselves. Who wants to go first?
Well, I'll go ahead and cash app you for that compliment.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, y'all, it's me, it's Jay Hawk, co-host with the most, real estate broker extraordinaire. And to my, depending on the structure of your film, the structure of what you're looking at, I have, whoa.
Thank you. Hey, hello world. Dwayne Sutton here, aka Whoa. You know what it is, Mr. CEO's what the title say of I Am More Media Group. Yeah, we ready to get down tonight, man. Look, we feeling good up in here. You see the red flowing? You see the red flowing up in here? The blood
That's
is
right.
pumping up in here tonight.
That's right.
What we say, Cheryl, tonight? Tonight we gonna mind your business and let them people be happy.
That's what we're doing tonight. Mind your business and let them people be happy. Because this is what we're gonna be talking about tonight. Is a little bit of a hot topic. It's a little bit of a hot button issue. Because even now, you're gonna see me kind of get in my feelings a little bit, but we're gonna talk about it.
Hey, what up?
Anyway, what's up, Candace? Congratulations on all your endeavors, because I've been following the journey on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in.
What's happening?
Yeah,
What's up, Candace?
Life of the party events, man. She on vacay right now.
Good.
I appreciate you even tuning in while you're on vacay.
I know, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, so we're going to talk about two different topics today. Like literally, we're going to go one end of the spectrum, and then we're going to get off that subject and get on another nerve. First, we're going to talk about Elon Musk and what he had to say.
Who?
Elon Musky ass. Y'all know I call him Musky ass Elon. So we're going to talk about him
Elongated muskrat.
No, bro, what
we're
up?
going to talk about him. And
hey, sweets.
What's up?
Hey, sweets.
Hey,
What's
beautiful.
up?
Thank you for joining. Look at that.
Thank
See,
y'all.
they know they got some handsome men up on here. They said, let's get on tone on in. Let's catch the show.
She here for him.
Hey, my cousin,
GT.
Gwendolyn Holmes.
What's up?
Hey,
What's up, Gwendolyn? What's up?
Welcome in.
What's up, Perel? What's up, Gwendolyn?
All right, so let's get to it, man. Let's get to it.
Let's get into it. Okay, so the second topic, after we talk about Elon's Musk ass, and we ain't gonna stay on him a whole long time. We're gonna talk about monogamy versus polyamory and what might work best for you in your personal preferences. Okay, because we have learned that everyone's preferences are wildly different. Okay,
What the old folks used to say?
What they
different
say?
Strokes for
But
different folks.
Different strokes for different folks, baby. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk about it tonight. But before we get into that, we're gonna show y'all a news clip and then we're gonna show you the tweets because Elon Musk got on X and he had some things to say about the Trump administration and the Republican parties and what he's gonna do if they pass this bill. And it's called the BBL bill, I don't even want to call it the next word. It's supposed to be the big beautiful bill, but it's a big beautiful lie.
You
but
mean
let's take a listen.
The big bitch ass bill?
Wait, what?
I've been calling it the BBL bill.
The big bitch ass bill, but go ahead.
Let's take a listen.
Let's get to it, then, man.
All right.
Hold on, wait a minute. We're doing too much over here now.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Oh, it should be presentation mode across the top somewhere up there. I can't really see the screen.
There we go.
All right.
Get into it.
And then you can X out of that extra box that popped up.
All right, let's get to it.
All right, let's go. Is it paused?
Nah, it's coming. You know, it had that little delay on it.
Yeah, got that little delay at the top.
While we're waiting for the delay, guys, look, if you like this content that we're
It's on right now. Board chief and Tesla CEO Elon Musk launched a scathing attack on U.S. President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill, calling it harmful for the country. Musk warned that Trump's signature legislation would destroy millions of jobs in America. He termed the bill insane and destructive and said it would severely damage the industries of the future. The billionaire also shared a poll and called the bill a political suicide for the Republican Party. He said this legislation will increase the budget deficit and burden Americans with unsustainable debt. This is not the first time Musk has clashed with Trump over the bill. On June 3rd, he called the initial draft disgusting abomination and publicly condemned lawmakers who supported it. The Senate is voting on the 940-page One Big Beautiful Bill. Critics say it will add about $3 trillion to the $362.2 trillion economy. Democrats argue the bill gives tax breaks to the rich while slashing benefits that working Americans depend on. They also said that 11.8 million more Americans would become uninsured by 2034 if the bill became a law.
If Republicans proceed and follow Donald Trump over the cliff, with this bill tied to their ankles like an anvil, they will not only doom their own communities, they will doom their political fortunes, their own political fortunes, and have no one to blame but themselves.
And that's pretty much the end. That was Chuck Schumer. It didn't go over to the next clip, but that was Chuck Schumer that was speaking at the end there. And the bill did pass today, I think, didn't it? But now they have to do the revisions to said bill. But here is what Elon had to say. Oh my goodness. Somebody read that tweet because I can't see it from my far distance. What'd he say?
So what I see here, Elon basically says every member of Congress who campaigned on reducing government spending and then immediately voted for the biggest debt increase in history should hang their head in shame. And they will lose their primary next year if it is the last thing I do on earth. It is obvious with the insane spending of this bill, which increases the debt ceiling for a record $5 trillion, that we live in a one-party country, the Porky Pig Party. Time for a new political party that actually cares about the people. How can you call yourself the Freedom Caucus if you vote for a debt slavery bill with the biggest debt ceiling increase in history?
Wow.
The Porky Pig Party.
In case y'all don't know what that means,
hey, that's a PPP, the PPP loan.
In case y'all don't know what that means, that's all, folks.
That's all, folks. He trying to tell them. You heard him? He said, look, basically what he just said is it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Hey, man.
Porky
Two
Pig.
things real quick, though.
Uh-huh.
Who are you to open your mouth and complain about this when you were part of the problem that started all of this mess?
Right.
This is political theater.
Those exist because of you. And then not only that, sir.
He trying to get his stock
Y'all
back.
want to know how we get out of this mess? Let Elon keep talking. It's one thing he just needs to publicly say, and it'll all be over. Just admit you rigged the election. If you can admit you rigged the election, it's a wrap.
He said it in so many ways because he literally said
you got to say it.
Well, no, he can't. No, trust me. His lawyers are going to advise him what he can and cannot say and get away with. So, he's not going to step over the line. But here's the crazy part. He is starting an American party. I saw that in the news today. Let me pull that up. So he's starting an American party, which is wild because he's clearly a Nazi, if you ask me.
You have to give the Nazi salute in order to get in.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
NOTSEE.
It's crazy talking like this, and you was just All with that, like,
my heart goes out to.
That's what that
But here's
means.
the crazy part too with Elon. There's infighting because first he was part of Doge and they were getting along, but I'm just assuming that he got in bed with the Republicans and things aren't going the way they were supposed to go. Because if
He
they were
got what
going
he
the way they were
wanted.
supposed to go, Elon would still be the head of Doge. And another thing that's really pissing him off is part of that big beautiful bill is they are cutting energy, part of the energy bill, which helps his company grow as a future company because he has Tesla and a bunch of other electronic products and he has NASA, but funding will be cut from those areas too. So he's getting his nose cut off at this point in the game. So he said, why is Musk calling for a new America party over Trump's beautiful bill? So he has his mouth wide open, and we knew they were in trouble when the little boy was cussing Trump out, repeating what was said behind closed doors. You know, Elon cussed that man out, and that little boy repeated every word. Remember the hot mic moment
Hey,
when the little boy told him he wasn't nothing?
You ain't the
hey, all I
president.
can say to Elon Musk, hey, look, that's cool. You speak. He's speaking up. Marjorie Taylor Greene speaking up. What's your boy Tucker Carlson? They all speaking up. And all we doing as black folks, we just sitting
Fuck
back.
around. He just fuck around all the time.
All the time.
All the time. We are minding our business. Well, this is from Al Jazeera News. It's asking the question, why is Musk calling for the new America party over Trump's beautiful bill? He's threatened to form this new political party, and he also threatened the Republicans that if they pass this, he's going to make sure that they don't win their primary, that they're going to lose their primaries in 2026. So if that doesn't scream infighting, I don't know what is. And I was trying to get into my
Infighting, but
Substack
how can you
account.
guarantee that unless you have some experience?
He got some experience.
Okay, all right.
He was very confident when he said that
All
he
right.
didn't take the tweet down. He didn't backtrack on his words. As a matter of fact, he doubled down because he said it's time for a new party. And here's the crazy part. I think the man probably gonna figure out a way to start the fucking American party or whatever you want to call it. He's gonna find a way to do it. Watch. And look, now
People
South
gonna follow
African.
money. He got the money, they gonna follow him the same way they followed old buzz cut nuts.
All they're gonna say is, "Hey, I'll pay you to vote at my party."
right, that part. Can y'all hear any background noise on my
Now you
end?
good.
No, you're clear. You're
Good, because
coming in
this
hot
is
and
some
clear.
noise.
So,
It's some noise.
so here's what I surmise from this, that
Okay.
I don't think that they're planning on giving up any power whatsoever, because power is intoxicating. I think that this could be a bit of a distraction, but the whole part of it is to reconsolidate, maybe into a different body, a politic, to get away from moderate Republicans, to get away from all that, actually just consolidate all in one place. I just don't think that they give up power so easily. I don't believe that they are willingly selling out the Republicans who are in office, who know they have a choice to make and that they could lose power and lose say-so. So it has to be something going on behind the scenes. They're still consolidating power, and they're doing it at a massive rate. We just have to figure out where to put the stopgaps.
Right,
Candace,
that
we sure
part.
will. You can do anything with the right of money in this country, and we've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Desperate, definitely, we've seen it. And of course, we've seen a bunch of fools have no idea what to do with money, but because they see somebody who has money, they assume that means power, and they're gonna write everything. That's why everybody blindly followed this man in the beginning, and now it's coming back to bite every last one of y'all. And we just out here with these fans and minding our business.
And we're gonna
Where
continue
them
to do that.
fans at?
Somebody sent me a reel the other day, and it was of a black woman being arrested in a Chicago neighborhood, and someone said that it was them ICE deporting Haitians. And so it was a black man calling for other black people to come out in support. But it wasn't even that. I have relatives in the Chicago area, and they said that that was a fight that broke out. That was not ICE. That was the Chicago PD who handled the situation incorrectly. And so the people in that neighborhood were handling those cops. It had nothing to do with ICE. It had nothing to do with Haitians. It was misinformation being put out. Y'all not about to get us out in the streets. No, we're not coming out. Black people
Every
know
time
the
we come
same.
out in the street, somebody
Mhm.
die,
Right.
something get set on fire, communities get. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not about to hashtag another one of our brothers and sisters behind no fight. Okay, white people, y'all voted for that man. 93% of all Black Americans voted for Kamala. We're gonna keep doing where them fans at. We're gonna keep minding our business over here. That's how we talking about this next subject we about to talk about. But before I get on that, we want to check in with the Diddy trial because somebody asked what's going on with Diddy. Diddy currently, they are still deliberating. As of 2 hours ago, the judge sent the juror back in there because they had a partial verdict, and the judge was like, "No, go back to work, get in there, bring out a full verdict, and when you come with that full verdict, then we can move forward." What that comment say?
Hey, shout out Walt. Jayhawk, I don't know if you know, but that's my cousin. That's Vivian's little brother.
Oh, what's going on, man?
That's Walt, man. But he said money is a tool. You don't need all the tools to work on the motor. You only need what is required.
Absolutely.
Yep. I went to Alcorn with the Viv stuff with Vivian.
So we're gonna keep an eye on the whole Trump.
Hey man, stop that line, man. Don't throw Kamala out there with that, bro.
Yeah,
don't do
I disagree with you on that.
I know she a politician, but man, look,
she ain't an idiot.
What we gonna stop doing is hitting on Kamala. Let's just stop that altogether.
Oh no, it would have been a completely different landscape.
Everything was happening.
Different.
She said it was gonna happen. Like it's footage of it. She said it was gonna happen. If you elect him, this is what's going down.
Well, he's actually playing through Project 2025, right? It's a lot of the elements that are being.
And here's the thing. With Kamala, it would have been a completely different landscape, but it's to every American's detriment that we weren't paying attention when they were when the Heritage Foundation was putting together the Project 2025. That's been in play. That's been in the making for years.
Yeah,
and
they've had a mandated leadership
on it,
different years, but this one is a more concise. Yeah,
you know.
Well, I mean, it's even with the Reagan years, they were putting in place because there's a think tank. But with this particular mandated leadership, it was more extreme. It was people put together. A lot of people from the Trump's inner circle that are back in the White House were key in writing that, and the way that he got his vice president because he was a darling of the Heritage Foundation. Not only him, but our person who's over counterterrorism, that 22-year-old landscaper, intern landscaper. Yeah, he is a darling.
Somebody the guy who used to work in Slotsky's Deli.
Yeah.
The one who leaked
from the Heritage
military.
Oh no, not him. I'm talking about the 21, 22-year-old.
Oh no, yeah, he was playing. I know who you're talking about. He leaked that information over on Discourse that no one's talking about.
What?
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he said he had access to military records and
Party need each other. Lesser of two evils. I don't like the lesser of two evils mentality, but at the same time, all right. So if we're gonna keep it a buck, let's just do it. Right wing, left wing, same bird. The Republicans are trash. They've shown that they're trash. They're only focused on their rich friends and how to line their own pockets. They do not care about the American people. At the same time, we saw the vote process go down with the early stages of this big, beautiful bill. Wasn't it like 344 to 77 or something like that?
Yeah, it was. We saw it. We showed it last week.
So there's some Democratic BS going on up here. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and call them off for what it is. You know how we get down right here. We don't bite our tongue for no.
See, that's the bullshit right there. That's bullshit right there. Right there.
That's exactly what that is. 344 to 77. Now, I don't want to hear nothing about the Democrats care about us either.
No,
what I'm seeing from all of this is simply that anybody and everybody can be bought.
Absolutely.
The senator from Alaska sold out the American people. She flipped simply to make sure that her state gets SNAP. Food stamps. So she sold out all the American people to make sure that Alaskans get state food stamps.
Here's the crazy part. Remember that movie a long time ago? Eddie Murphy starred in it called The Distinguished Gentleman. And it was a con from the beginning with that character. Jeffrey Johnson, the name you know.
Jeff Johnson, the name you
Jeff
know.
Johnson, the name you know. So for him, it was a scam
Jeffrey
from the beginning.
Biergard.
Here's the crazy part. He gets up there and from the get-go, he was scamming. But he gets up there thinking that these other politicians are the real deal, and he finds out they are bigger crooks than he is. You know, and that's a lesson to be learned there. And for the American people, we have got to do better. We put our trust in the wrong people. But then here's the thing. We put these people in office and we don't hold them accountable. I have sent 2 letters to my own congressman in this 1 week alone, because if we don't start holding these people accountable that we put in office, that's on us, the American people. It really is. And everybody better understand the assignment. Hold on, let me get this out. Everybody better understand the assignment with the primaries come in 2026. Now, if we are in a state of what do they call it, Jonathan? A military state. What do they call that?
Martial law.
If we're under martial law, there will be no elections for November 2026.
Who was it? Miami canceled the elections.
Well, they're postponing them until next year.
They postponed
that wasn't a midterm. Those weren't midterms. They were just
still,
regular.
how you just out here postpone a whole election?
But well, Thomas, I would love to agree with you on this. However,
what did he say? Read it out loud, John. I can't.
Well, it's a couple of things. You know, so I want to go back to the point where it says that the president is not in full control, and the founding fathers put that in perspective. Did that for a purpose because they didn't want another king. So there was a division of powers, right? But that line is being blurred with this administration when it comes to as far as the powers of the president. Supreme Court actually siding with the president having a certain type of immunity from prosecution, and also the way he's co-opted the legislature and the Supreme Court that are all skewed toward the presidency, which gives him a lot of power, and it gives him he can't be checked for it, and he can't be prosecuted for it.
And here's the thing. So let's stop for a minute. Let's stop for a minute, just in case someone is watching and they don't understand any of the branches of government. There are 3. Okay, there are 3.
I got another comment we need to get to.
It won now. It won.
Hold on, no, it
won now.
Hold on, listen. Don't do that, because words. Okay. If you're going to, you have already given in to the enemy.
I'm not, but I'm actually just joking in jest right now. So
let me tell you something Bruce Lee said about words. He said, be careful with your words, because the psyche doesn't recognize sarcasm from reality. And that's why it's called spelling, because you're putting that spell over your life. Be really careful with your words, especially now. But let me say this. We have the judicial branch of the government. That's the Supreme Court. The executive branch is the president, and the legislature is the House and the Senate. The House and the Senate is filled with what right now? The majority is Republicans in the House and the Senate. The Supreme Court is majority Republicans. It's not a whole lot of progressives or Democratic judges on the Supreme Court right now. That means Trump has all the cards stacked in his favor. For the most part, they will do what he wants them to do. Because even if it's to the detriment, party over people, even to the detriment of the constituents in the state. Now, I guarantee you, white, black, brown, yellow, I don't care what the color, when primaries come next year, we're going to see such a big change in America when it comes to who sits in those seats. And I guarantee you, it's not going to be a lot of Republicans or Democrats. This is the first time in history, and mark my words, I need to bookmark this particular live of ours. This is going to be the first time in history where we see more independents, libertarians, and other types of parties have a chance to sit in these seats in Congress. Now, what that comment say? Because I can't read it from here.
Oh no, this is him saying,
just take care of your health, your family, and stop getting drunk, smoking cigarettes, eating fried chicken, and drinking Mountain Dews, and you'll be fine. That'd be good. But there's been some assault on as far as clean air. It's been assault on as far as what we put into what our cattle are eating, what our food. There's been some pushback on what viruses that are actually in the air just being reported to us. So I'm all for self-determination. However, we have to know that government is there for the people. That's the whole purpose.
Right.
This this unwritten contract that we have together that pulls us into a society. But when our government is not holding true to the people, what happens? And so what happens to our air, our food? How do we stay healthy? How do we, what do we do as people when our government is skewing the terms and the favors in turn for the 1 or 2% and damn everybody else?
Well, you know what's going to happen, right? You remember the Greek tragedy, Caesar? What happened to Caesar?
It's E2.
What happened to Caesar?
Yeah,
E2. Well,
what they said that he became too ambitious, and because he became too ambitious, his own people did him in. Now, here's the thing with the whole Caesar story, the whole Caesar storyline is they gave him the power. The very people who turned on him gave him all of that power.
The Senate.
The Senate gave it to him, but then they were so bad, they were so conniving and backstabbing because they recognized that, oh shit, I gave him too much. He's supposed to be working with me. I'm supposed to have some of this pot and power, but he took it out. He's too ambitious. I got a feeling infighting will continue to ensue. This is just the beginning, and we don't even know the half of what's going on behind the scenes.
He threatened to look into having your boy kicked out the country, Elon.
Well, if he's gonna do that,
he said he would look into it. Trump, he ain't gonna just.
He gonna look into it. But here's the thing: if that's the case,
I do want to address this though. So this is my cousin. What's up, cousin, man? Appreciate you tuning in tonight, man. He said Dems ran a terrible campaign to rob their constituents of a primary. Now political personalities writing books about how they knew Biden was in decline. The way Dems opened the door for us to walk into this burning building called Project 2025 will be written about in history books. I want to say, I feel you. At the same time,
I can't deny.
I think we also need to stop doing a lot of this and pay attention. He didn't get here without being voted in.
Right.
The same people that you call your friend and your partner, they was more worried about themselves and they listened to the lies and the BS that he sold when the truth was right in front of them. Kamala wasn't the only one who talked about Project 2025.
No,
Kamala wasn't the only one who said exactly what he's going to do and laid it all out. But it was everywhere. The blueprint of it was everywhere, and people chose. The American people who are now whining and complaining chose to elect that man. So we can say Democrat, all we wanted to. You still have to make your own decision. He was never the better decision. Nothing about the campaign he ran said, vote for me. In fact, if you looked at him and he was an employee working for your company, would you hire him based on his resume?
Absolutely not.
But you chose him to be your president of this country. Make that make sense for me. That's the point I want everybody to own it. Stop pointing fingers at Democrats. I do get it. The Democrats do look a little weak. And that's another thing he pointed out too. He said Trump is showing you right now that the whole checks and balances thing is optional. Because no, it's not optional. It seems that way because, like you said, the scales are tilted right now. He can do whatever he wants because he has everybody in his pocket. But all this shit is illegal.
Well, the biggest issue he's having right now is
they're trying to make it where it's legal.
Are those judicial picks that Biden put up? They've been mounting the defense against a majority of what Trump is wanting to do. All those executive orders or whatever can be reversed. There's not the biggest part of the issue that we've had with his presidency so far without him playing with the economy and driving people out, mad and everything else with that was actually this big bitch ass bill that now
hold on.
Yeah,
listen.
We'll go into that.
Let's go back to strategy. Back in September or October before the election, we did a show and we talked about Project 2025. We actually played a little cartoon clip that simplified what it was. And it talked about then changing birthright citizenship. It talked about getting rid of immigrants who they felt were problematic. It talked about taking away books It talked about taking away critical race theory, replacing it with like the creationism theory, like that's taught in church, that's taught in the Bible. So all of this was in that bill then, and this was back in September of 2024, while we were still in the primaries and deciding who we were going to vote for. And then that happened. And then at the beginning of this year, we did a show about psychological warfare, psyops. And it was because Trump had gotten into office. And what they do is they do all of this stuff to create chaos, to make you so tired mentally that you don't fight against it. We have a constitution that is still very much so in place. And although they're not talking about the judges on the state levels who are putting injunctions in place to stop a lot of this foolishness, that's still going on. We're just not seeing it talked about in the public's eye. So just because Trump signed something, that is performatory, okay? It's done to create fear, to create instability in Americans so that we won't fight back. And if they continue on the course that they're on with all of these back to back policy changes that he is attempting to put in place, it's meant to destabilize America. We are being attacked by our own government and no one is talking about it. No, we are under attack. It is a civil war. And you have Newsom in California who says, no, you don't get to send the National Guard here. We're going to sue you. And he is. You have judges in New York who are reopening the voting count in certain bureaus that Republican has never won. So you have the fights going on, but it's so much so fast, we can't keep up with it all. So don't ever feel like we don't have a constitution that's working for us. We just have a current government in place that's determined to dismantle it. That's why we should all know our rights for ourselves. Just because you don't know the law is not a defense in court. We got to start knowing this. Each American has to start taking accountability for the shit that we allow. You know?
That's what, again. And
I agree with you, Thomas, on that part.
The 344, that was the impeachment. You had a chance to get his ass out.
They did.
Yeah.
You had a chance to get him out of there. 344 to 77.
Look at Sweet's comment.
What about this? Let's keep him in office.
Coming up.
Mainstream media isn't. Yeah. Jeanette.
What does it say?
Mainstream media isn't talking. Isn't talking about it. There are a multitude of people that are actually talking about it. We just don't have the eye and the ears of the media, the mainstream media, because it's owned by whom?
B613.
It's a bit.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Scandal.
The reason she lost is because the fact that she's a black woman. Y'all ain't know she was black before the campaign. If America don't want the message to come from her, and the message is that important and critical to everyone.
I don't know. I think all the AKAs in America knew she was black. But
we knew she was black.
I ain't gonna lie to you, dog.
Look, all the AKAs knew she was black years ago.
Yeah, she was AKA. She was black for sure.
Let's address this. Two things. I don't think her race was ever really in question. If she confident, really is all that matters to me. Truth be told, Trump never should have won the first round. You feel me? He never should have been elected the first time. But we came out and we saw Bernie Sanders, who just made too much sense for some people. And then they said, well, he old. We can't have nobody out here that old. He gonna probably die in the next year or so. And then you turn around and elected Biden. I don't know. Either way it goes. Trump 82. Biden is headed to, I don't know, the retirement home, the I don't know what both of them. And Bernie out here still cooking.
Still, baby.
We could have had that. Next thing I want to address, rappers and hood culture loved Trump prior to him becoming the president.
But they're not leaders. They're not leaders.
The truth, dog. Everybody loved Trump before them because he had money. Money gets you a lot of places that other people can't go. That's how he showed up in Home Alone.
No. Yeah,
he was in Home Alone. Home Alone lost to New York too.
Yeah, because that was the building.
Trump Tower.
Yeah, that was a part of his cameo. Was he had to get, in order to use it, he had to show up in there. So
yeah.
No, so entertainers are not leaders. I mean, Minister Malcolm X admonished us and told us beforehand, like, that Black entertainers are not leaders, and because they get paid to
why would I want to listen to the rappers and like in hood culture? Like, let me be real. Folks still out here calling each other the N-word. You think I'm listening? No.
Mm-mm.
You know how ignorant you sound still calling yourself that?
It's interesting. You know,
You
Snoop
don't
did
have
not
to
allow
go
his
by
kids to
that no
listen.
more. It doesn't
It's a
have to be in our
distraction.
vocabulary no more. Yet people still choose to. You think I'm gonna listen to you? I don't listen to hood culture. I don't listen to rappers when it comes to what's best for my people. Now, unless you putting your foot in, like you putting the footwork in, you actually out here in these communities. You act not just handing out turkeys at Thanksgiving. I ain't talking about that.
Okay.
So,
You know,
so I'm gonna vote for the person who has the Pound Town lyrics because they pointed out a particular politician. Not
How did we get on this subject of rappers? I missed something.
Well, no, he made the
Because-
comment, was saying that rappers and hood culture love Trump prior to him becoming president. That's
a distraction. It's just another distraction. That's a pointless conversation.
Rappers
at
and
this point
hood
because
figures love money. They
I don't care
glorify
about
money.
them. They are
And they
irrelevant.
assume Trump and money go hand in hand. But like you said earlier, Trump is a terrible businessman. If
It's
you
a
go back and you
distraction.
really look at his
How many
he
times
has
has he
no
bankrupt?
body of work that
A
says
lot.
the
So he's
successful
been bankrupt at
businessman.
least 5 times, right? At least 5 times.
And that's simply to
and
avoid
multiple
paying people.
marriages. And
Make
this is
make
the
that
person
make
who's
sense,
going to
though.
make us fiscally responsible as a
Okay,
country.
listen. Hey, hello. Mic check. Can y'all hear me?
Hola, hola.
It does not even matter because we're here now.
No,
We're here now. And that
So what do we
man
do?
is the president. We're here now. Yes, he
We
is a
are.
criminal. Yes, he has been convicted of sexual assault many times. Okay? It's on record. Those people don't care. People don't care. This is what I have learned about America. Half of America is intelligent and they know how to put things into context. The other
Not
half
even
of
half.
America,
Not even half. Nope. You're giving
no,
too
not
much
even
credit.
half. But the
You're
part
giving
of
too much credit.
America that has less than a high school education, Trump resonates with those people to the point that they will literally sacrifice a baby for that man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 100% sure they will give up a left titty, and those men will give up a left nut if he asks them to.
Who's to say they
Because
haven't already? Because ain't no way
that's
that they
right.
voting the way that they
That's
are.
right. You can't have Trump and God, and they have made Trump their God. When you have people who have made Trump their God, you can't reason with those people. They worship the ground that man walks on.
Mm-hmm.
All we can do is shore up our own families and try to make the best decisions politically going forward. We can see the mess we're in now. Now, I got a feeling, like I said, what's our next weapon? Our next weapon is voting. That's why Miami postponed their vote until next year, because they already know. They know what's coming.
Well, Cheryl, this is what I want you to bring up. Now that he has an idea, or the Supreme Court has like given him some gray matter to work with when it comes to citizenship and birthright citizenship, what do you think it's gonna? How you think it's gonna tank who can vote and who can't vote in the next election?
Well, we have to see where birthright citizenship goes, because there's people fighting for that. Because the ones of us who are descendants of slaves, that is what grants us our citizenship here in America. So there is no way they can repeal that. That will force us to go into a revolution, because we will fucking fight. If they push us to it, we will
What
fight.
I tell y'all last week, if they
Okay.
come around us, listen,
Right,
I'm
we
getting y'all
fighting.
tuning in tonight. I say it again in case you missed last week's show.
Mhm.
If you see ICE pull up,
Yeah, we
if
fight.
you see people pull up with no badges, don't want to acknowledge who they are, who they represent, nothing like that, and they come and grab me and start trying to put me in whatever, put your phone down there and get the bucket.
Right, because at this point, you are an American citizen. Hopefully, everyone has an ID, a driver's license, a social security card, a birth certificate, or a passport. You should have all those items.
All
Now, if they trying
teenagers,
to,
even if they cannot drive, should have a form of an ID.
you should have an ID. So here's the thing: teach your kids their rights. They should know them. You know, they should know the questions to ask. Definitely have parents on the phone if you have teenagers who are facing this. But here's the thing: I unfortunately had a
He's telling
conversation.
don't say shit to the police.
Well, no, but here's the thing: I commented under Amanda Seals' post the other day, and Amanda Seals is very problematic, but I still was giving her grace. Well, she was online and she was talking about birthright citizenship and how the white supremacists in America don't recognize Black people as American. So I said under the post, I asked the question, geographically, we are American because to the rest of the world, we're born in North America, which means ethnically, we are from America. We are Americans. That is geography 101. There are 7 continents. North America is one of the 7. Okay. I'm not going to name the other ones. I hope you know them. I feel like naming them because people might not know them. Okay. It's Africa,
You'd be
Antarctica,
surprised. I've
Asia,
seen too many of those.
Europe, right? The Americas, North and South America, Australia. And I'm missing one other one.
Is Antarctica one of them?
Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 7. So to the rest of the world, we are not Black people. We are Americans because we're from North America. Now, back in the 1960s, they did this thing. They did a social experiment where they said, hey, let's do this social construct where we're going to name out the races, Black, white, Asian, etc. They only did that to do the redlining for real estate and for testing purposes so that they could score white people different from Black people to keep Black people out of certain neighborhoods and out of certain colleges. Okay. Race is a social construct. This lady replied to my question. I said, okay, y'all keep talking about you're not American and you're Black. Do you realize that we keep using a term that's meant to demean us, which is Black?
Hold on, man. I got
and she said, hold on. She said,
that's my son, man. Hey, what's
hey,
up?
oh,
man?
hey.
Got Trey in the house.
What's
Trey?
up, man?
Welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Stick around. We got a real spicy subject next. I don't know if your dad wants you.
No,
in
he
for
probably
the
won't
next
stick
one.
around, but you know, he just.
Oh, okay. Hey, well, let me
Hey,
get
man,
this out.
love you, boy.
Love you. Thank you for joining. So here's the crazy part. She said to me, I'm not American, I'm Black.
Is this Amanda said this or somebody else in the
Amanda Seals,
comments?
I should have screenshotted it. I said, wait a minute. Geographically, it's a geographical fact, ma'am. If you're born in America, you are an American first.
Well,
and we are descendants of Africa, right? We're descendants of our ancestors came from Africa. We are African American if we're anything. Now we can keep saying we Black all we want to, but we have really got to figure out how we're going to move forward as a people, because if we have the mindset that we're Black, then white people keep saying, you keep acknowledging that you're inferior to us, because that word technically means that you're inferior because it's a social construct in the first place. So we keep owning some shit for them to keep putting it in our face that, yeah, you keep saying that you're cattle because you're owning being a Black person. Is what I'm saying, as opposed to being an American. Instead of saying I'm American, we say, oh yeah, I'm Black. And
well,
then
if that was,
when it comes to the terms of the
Americans,
law, when it comes to the law, they say, oh, well, they don't even recognize themselves as being people because they keep using that term.
Well, it's hard to claim something. It's hard to claim a place that you know doesn't love you.
Right. Well,
that's true too.
It's hard to, you know, it's. I know that's what I am when I'm outside of this country. Like I know that's how that's how they gonna see you. You're an American. You're an American. They hear it in your accent. But to really just say it's like I have to strictly to identify myself.
Right.
But it's so much reluctance within us because we know the history says that they don't like us.
Yeah, they want you to forget about it.
So do you feel like because they don't like us that we have no stake in the Constitution, that it doesn't apply to us? Is that what you're saying? Because that's another conversation.
You mean the Constitution that determined at the beginning that we were 3/5 of a person? And, you know, or you're talking about the Constitution that had to be told, that white people had to be told that we were actually that we were human.
We're not going to even go there. We are human. If that's the case, are we
I'm talking about, but we
annihilate?
Already knew that we were
going to annihilate?
It was white people that had to be told that we were free. We knew we were free. We were born free, but they had to be told.
Oh my goodness, y'all sound like Amanda Seals. So literally, what we're saying as Black person, and I may be the only one that feels this way, It sounds like y'all are saying, yeah, y'all come get us and put us the fuck out because we don't want to be here. We don't feel like we're American. We just want to be black.
No. Remember what I said earlier this year when we talked about the
That
whole
is pissing me off. Like, seriously.
I said I wasn't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. Nobody finna run me about it because this is all I know. See, here's the truth is, if I had a safe place to go, I would go there. I don't really have a safe place to go. Even when you leave this country, you're still not safe.
Oh,
you're
yeah,
an outsider. You do not belong wherever you go visit. You do not belong there. Okay? You will always be viewed as an outsider. You are not from here. You don't know the heritage. You don't even know where your bloodline really come from. Go get your 23andMe all you want to, but that's how they view it. So I know for me, this is all I know. This is where I was born, where my father was born. Both my grandfathers were born, and his father. This is all we know. Now we can go and try to do all our research all we want, but this is all we know. So that's why I say we gonna claim it. It's just with reluctance because historically,
I'm not claiming
America
it with reluctance.
does not
I was born here.
like us.
I don't give a fuck. I was born here. I'm not gonna let anybody not make me be proud of where I was born at.
Well, the
I
beautiful thing
can't
about
claim
being
any
here,
other place. I
It's
can't
kind of
claim
like,
Nigeria.
and I'm gonna say it because y'all know it's kind of like Mississippi
Egypt.
for me. I know the history of Mississippi.
Right.
Okay, I know my experiences within Mississippi, but then I'm still gonna rep Mississippi, even though I know historically Mississippi don't like my black head. It don't.
Don't.
Thank you. I like that comment. They don't know that race is a contract, but it is. It
construct.
Is.
But
It's a
so
construct.
check this out.
I can't read that far.
So here's the deal. The beautiful part about being American, and particularly Black American, is that we have freedom of speech. So we have the freedom to actually we have the freedom to criticize this country and say whatever we want to say that does not deem, we're not yelling fire in a theater. We're not yelling, we're not causing. We have that freedom of speech. So I can say that, because maybe our people feels like I said, a second-class citizenship. Maybe I don't feel completely American. I pay American taxes, right? But am I treated that way, right? They've been redlining our community, even in Dallas. Until recently, they're still doing it, but it was called out. Businesses and homes below I-35 going south banks weren't fucking with us. All the banks were up north, where people that don't look like us, right? But because WFAA put out a documentary, shining the light on them, Bank of America did some stuff, Wells Fargo tried to make some, because now we shine the light and they don't, oh God, it looks so bad. Yeah, because it is bad, because you guys knew what you were doing. But it's not because we're all Americans, because they knew that Black and brown people lived in a particular area of the city, and we're not going to put our institutions there.
Well, here's the thing. Now, let me play devil's advocate a little bit more then. Since Martin Luther King Jr., the late Martin Luther King Jr. said himself that he integrated his people into a burning house, what is stopping us as a community? And it's already kind of starting, but I'm going to ask anyway, starting us from starting our own Black Wall Street again. We're starting it slowly. It's slow because people have so many different ideologies. Black people, we don't all think alike. But we started it. They got the bank. What's the name of the bank? The Greenwood Bank is started. That whole project is underway.
I have a Greenwood.
So we have that. And we have another Black bank in New Orleans. I can't think of the name of that bank, but it's a Black-owned bank in New Orleans as well. What is stopping us from really putting ourselves together from Florida to California and every state in between of every Black person and saying, hey,
because a lot of Black folks want to be American instead of being Black Americans first. So when Japanese are here, they're not, oh, we're American, we're Japanese American. And we have Little Japan, we have Chinatown, we got Little Korea, we have areas where there are Jews. They know that they're American, but they have, look, we're Jewish American. We have our culture first, right? And so every other group has done that, but now for some reason, Black people have been sold the fact that we're strictly American.
But this is what we need to do.
Hold on, let me finish. Is that our skin tone, our community, our way of life, our culture does not matter, and we want to completely integrate with the dominant culture. That's an issue. Now we're only going to be able to have Black Wall Street again if we will decide that, guess what? I'm American, but guess what? I look like and think like I go to church with, I go to school with these people, and we need to pull together and we need to strengthen our community. That is the only way we're ever going to get ahead. And until then, we're going to watch every other immigrant group come along and surpass us.
Well, that's all we need to do. And for the Black people who don't want to be a part of it, they'll just be on the outskirts. They'll either be in or they won't. They'll either come to Wakanda or they won't.
May they be strange fruited.
What's keeping us from doing it? Jealousy.
Yep.
Envious. We'll get jealous when we see another one of us coming up, and instead of supporting that person, people want to hate. Crabs in the barrel mentality. Envious, not necessarily of our fellow man. We see what other people outside of our race have, and we say, I want that. For some reason, we think it's better when they have it versus when we get it, because they must know something we don't. So we go chasing after that. When truth is, and then it comes back to your mentality, which is really the root of all of it. Truth is, we think possessions matter. We think that will represent your status. And instead of chasing community, and instead of building something within your community and expanding the communities, we chase after possessions, and then we put our money into possessions. We go buy cars and we buy jewelry. We buy slugs and
tell me why.
And because that's what we think matters.
It's conditioning. Let's talk about what it really is.
Some people they'll try to lie and they'll go back to the whole Egyptian arrows, and that's what they wore back then. Okay, that's because they had it. You don't.
Right. It's conditioning though. It's not just, it's consumerism and conditioning in this capitalistic society, which is a whole nother story for another day. So this we're gonna have to table, because I really want to get on this other subject that I wanted to talk about. And we have to talking about this. Okay, what does that say?
It's so good.
We also have had a unique set of circumstances that have led to the
distrust that we have had for each other, that previously stated minorities have not had the same scale.
Oh yeah, like literally we're running a race where our white counterparts started at position 100 and we started at negative 100.
So it's too.
Pay attention to people who got money. All I say is this: pay attention to the people who got. If you really want to pay attention to people around, look at the people who have money. What do they look like?
Well, let's look like this.
2008 Toyota Camry. They still wear their little Dockers and penny loafers, and still go shop at the regular basis. They don't go out here and splurge on senseless possessions.
Well, that's old money versus new money. So
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a group of friends in Mandeville, and they're Black and white, and they're wealthy. They're much older than me, but they accepted me into their group, and I'm thankful for every single one of them. They've only shown me love. That's it. They walk in love with God, themselves, and others. So
there's new money, and there's old money.
Some of them are old money, and some of them are new money.
Yeah, but they move differently.
They do.
Well,
the
circle I rolled in, they were fine. They weren't all devils. They weren't all devils. Because my goodness, I feel like we put all white people in the devil group. And all
I ain't gonna say
that's not what I said. I didn't say that. I didn't say
look, we're gonna table this because I don't want to talk about this anymore, and we can talk about this next show because I want to talk about monogamy versus polygamy. I wasn't.
This for the grown-ups. This for the grown-ups.
So we can talk about Black and white and whether you want to be American or just human, or if you want to be an alien, or if you want to be whatever all the LGBTQ people are. That's probably why they decided to be all this other shit, because it's just probably simpler for them. I don't know. But we'll talk about all that on another show. So y'all can join us when we're talking about race relations. I don't want to talk about that shit now. That's making my cat dry up. All right. So we're moving on. We're switching gears.
Give her some water. Is she back in the back? Put a bowl of milk out for her.
No,
and some kibbles and bits.
She don't drink milk.
She don't drink milk.
No milk over here. All right, so let's switch gears because I tell you, this is another one that's probably going to also get my nerves up too, but we're going to talk about it anyway. Monogamy versus polygamy. And we're going to take a good hard look at both. Well, not necessarily monogamy, because we know what monogamy is. It's a relationship between one man and one woman, right? That's it.
Mhm.
You are exclusive to one another. Anything outside of that relationship is considered infidelity, okay? Cheating. You have stepped outside the boundaries of the two of us in our exclusivity. We all agree on that, right?
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So that's an easy one. Most people in America prefer that because it's simple. It's Christianity. We grew up in that. We were taught one man, one wife, one husband, and you all go to and be one. But
It depends on what branch of
nowadays,
Christianity.
Yeah.
depends on what branch of Christianity you are in.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
we have the
'Cause
Latter-day Saints, the off branch, that does a whole
Mhm.
different.
Oh, no, don't forget about the Republicans that came to town and blew up that gay app. But go ahead. Go figure. but y'all go ahead and go off.
Ew.
I'm sorry.
Wait, can you use the shirt?
I think I broke the internet.
I believe we lost her for just a sec. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold up. We gotta make sure we get her back.
So while Granny is watering, giving her pet some water, we're gonna go ahead and
she is not giving the yeah, we about to have some fun, my boy. We about to have some fun. Again, we taking I don't want the judgment hats on up in here. Listen, if you can't be open-minded or willing to be honest and learn things, this is not this is not for you. If you're gonna be closed-minded and judgmental,
you got to go.
Peace out, man. Yeah, we are about to have some adult conversation that is yeah, it's gonna be open and honest.
She's back. Hey,
there we go.
Inquiring minds want to know if you gave
I'm not explaining this one.
Inquiring minds want to know.
If I gave it some water?
Yeah.
No, it has not been watered. It has not. And look, I might be glitchy on this one. My phone died, so I'm on the actual computer. I don't know how this is gonna work on this guy.
We're gonna call PETA.
Let's roll with it.
You're being reported to PETA for animal cruelty.
I'm being reported to PETA for dry cat.
Animal cruelty. Dry cat.
Damn.
Anyway, go ahead.
I want everybody back. There's gonna be ball juice everywhere. Everybody get back.
All right, so I got a PowerPoint presentation because I'm one of those kind of girls. I tell my girlfriend it's my turn to suck and buck. Ooh, sucking buck. What the fuck?
See?
Buck.
Now she all look, she had an ADHD one. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, you see my my brain like whole visual right there, man. I tell you. Oh man, hold on. What is this? I don't think I'm logged in at all. Like I have no clue. We're just gonna roll with it. It'll be on Wayne's page if it's not on my page. Okay, so
group on YouTube.
polyamory.
Go subscribe now. Go subscribe now.
Right. Go subscribe. So last week, after we had finished the show, we had a conversation, Wayne, Jonathan, and I, and we were talking about polyamory relationships. And I said the only way I could be in one of those is if, first of all, the man had to be wealthy, because if I'm gonna be sharing you with another woman, I need you to be able to take care of my needs fully. You can call that what you want, but I am not doing that shit with no broke person. I'm not. And I want to be fully independent of the other woman. Independent. And do you know there is a category for that within the dichotomy of polyamory? It's a bunch.
Well, Kanye said it best. He said,
a bunch of different types of yeah, well, she ain't fucking with no broke niggas. Pull that PowerPoint up right quick. I'm probably gonna jump back on here. I keep missing all the good stuff. What I missing? What was said?
Nothing.
It was said. Y'all laughing. I'm out of the loop.
Nothing.
Out of the loop, man.
Uh,
What
All
the
right, so
hell?
let's get back to it.
what the hell,
Monogamy or
y'all?
polyamory?
What the hell y'all say?
Hold on. Hold on.
All right, y'all.
All right,
Y'all
I'm about
see
to
it?
jump back on my other page too. So I'm gonna be in
All
here
right, y'all.
twice. Y'all can hear.
Uh-oh.
You
We
hear a
get
little bit
a
of
double
echo.
dose of Granny. Double
Yeah, a
dose.
little bit of an echo. Hold on, just a moment. Hold on.
Different strokes
Let's
for
feel this
different
out.
folks. Mhm.
All right, so let's see. Is the interference gone? No, it's kind of not gone.
There you go.
Really go for some bourbon right now. That would be awesome.
All right. How about now? How about now? Because I'm up right now.
You're
You
good.
stuck right now. All right. So here are the two different types. Hopefully everybody can see the screen. Okay. But we got monogamy. That's vanilla. Okay. Nowadays, the young people will call it vanilla. You know, it's just you and your daddy, you know, or your mama and your daddy. That's it. That's the end of
That's
the
how you
discussion.
got here.
That's how you got here. And mama and daddy did not have any other partners that the other one knew about. They ain't had that shit going on.
Depending
Right?
on
That's
what
what
mama
they
and
say.
daddy you had.
Depending on what mom and daddy you had. But let me tell you about my grandmama and granddaddy. He definitely had a side chick, and he had that side chick for years, y'all. All right. So on the polyamory side, what is it? It is the practice of or desire for romantic relationships with more than one partner at the same time. So in these relationships, you can have two people, three people, four people, five people, whatever your group consists of. You know, that's y'all and y'all thing.
So this consists of swingers as well?
What'd you say?
Does this consist of swingers?
Yeah, a swinging thing is more of a sexual, like, we're not trying to build nothing, connect nothing. Like,
That's
we
a
here to
kink.
have a,
I think that goes in the kink category. We're not
yeah,
talking
that's a
about
kink.
kinks
Yeah.
tonight.
Well, there are certain swing sets that have a particular one set of couples they kick it with, or either both of those people may have both of them have one girlfriend, you know, so that they share.
Oh yeah, it's called the non-hierarchy
Polyamory.
polyamory. It's non-hierarchical polyamory is what you're talking about. So there's different types of polyamory. You can go to the next slide. But everybody within the group has to be aware and agree to that this is the group, and we're going to have this relationship between these three or these four or these five or these six people, however you got your shit set up. All right. So it's several different kinds. It's just like the LGBTQ and all of their different what do they call them? Their different genders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's like that, except over here it's different types of relationships. You have consensual non-monogamy. All partners are aware and agree to the dynamics of a relationship. It's consensual, we non-monogamous, but I need to know who you're dealing with. Kinda. It depends on which one of these different groups you find yourself in.
Thomas is off the chain. Thomas is.
What did he say?
It ain't no fun if the homies can't have.
No fun if the homies can't have none.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
share
called
mine
kink.
smell
They
like
got a
I
few
share
of them.
icebreaker
Look it up.
mints. I want everyone breath to smell good.
Oh my goodness. So here it
Ain't
is.
no
We have
fun.
if the rabbit got the guy, they got hierarchy. Y'all know hierarchy means I can't say the word. The hierarchy. Yeah, so that means it's a main man and woman. That's the couple. It's the main couple. And so anybody else that comes into that relationship is not part of the hierarchy. They're like just members in the group.
They're junior, like junior husbands, junior
They're
wives.
just members in the group. They'll just be a secondary, I guess you could say. You have a
Sounds like a
primary.
cult.
Yeah, you have a
Sounds like a
primary
cult.
person.
So like I'm married to her, but
Right.
you and I, we can go together.
Right, exactly.
But you'll never be able to take the top spot.
For example, those are the couples that are looking for a third. Because I saw a TikTok where the guy was saying he went on a date and they was like, "Oh yeah, we're just looking for a third," and he was like, "I don't want to be a third," but they were looking for a third because they were in a hierarchical polyamory relationship where it's two main people.
What your boy
You
Pinky
find
say?
those people
I got a
on dating
girlfriend. I got a
sites.
wife on the side.
Well, no, I had a couple on the dating site. It was a picture of the wife and the husband, and they were looking for a third person to be in their relationship. Well, baby, I can't never be second best. Fuck that. Why y'all talking to me? Bye.
I used to
But
see that
that's
all the
just me.
time when I worked at
That's
the
just
strip club.
clearly not the setup for me. Not that type, right? Then you have a different type called the non-hierarchy polyamory, where everyone's balanced. I think Jonathan knows a couple like this, where a throuple like this, where it's one husband and the two wives, and they are all balanced, like they're all on the same level. There
Right.
isn't the he's here and the girls are here. It's like he's here and so are his wives, and they have 8 children between the two wives, right? Am I saying
They
that
have
correctly?
several. They do. They have several businesses. Their own acres and acres of land.
They're doing it.
They are building.
They're doing
And they have community with other
and I
people
think
who
that's
do the
actually
same.
usually polygamy at that point in time.
It may be polygamy because he is legally married to both, right?
Yeah.
No, to one, because in America you can only be married to one. But the
One.
other
Okay,
one
so
is through the religious
okay.
sect they have. So yeah.
Okay, so he does have 2 wives. One is like a common law wife, and the other one is a legal wife.
That's correct.
But I did see the picture, and for all intents and purposes, they look like they're healthy, wealthy, and happy.
Beautiful,
and I think that's a
beautiful
part
family.
that I think people don't need they need to actually pay attention to. I mean, you know, the thing is you can try and criticize and judge. The part that people need to definitely pay attention to is they're happy.
Yep.
Okay. They're actually experiencing something that a lot of people don't feel because egos, because society, because of religion, because of certain all these different things that have gotten and told you that this is what's supposed to happen. This is how it's supposed to go. Even though you've had some other experiences that may have actually had you questioning a lot of things.
And
You
here's
still
the crazy
say
part.
ain't no way in hell. And because of that, it's a good amount of people who are living life absolutely alone.
Well, here's the
These
thing.
people are
Listen,
happy.
there are several different types. That's only 2 of the many types of polyamory relationship you can have. We just went over 2. That's hierarchy and non-hierarchy. Guess what? They got one called parallel polyamory. Do y'all want to know what parallel polyamory is?
Please share.
It's a type of relationship where generally they're independent of one another. That means that I'm married to someone, they're married to me, and we have relationships that we've agreed upon outside of our relationship. But these relationships are independent of the relationship that we're in. So we have our core relationship, and then my husband and I have agreed that he has a relationship outside of me, and I have one outside of him. But we have come to this agreement that that's our boundary. That's where we're going to go. But you have people who can build it upon that and upon that and upon that, right? It's called parallel. So it's independent of. And I told Wayne them when we were off air, if that's how it's going to be, yeah, I can work with that, but I can't do it with a broke man.
Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. You're gonna have to have money for that because you only got so much time in a day, and ain't no way in the world you're gonna be able to go back and forth like that without having a little bit of money. And so,
and I'm not a needy person. Like he can stop by once, twice a month. Just make sure you dropping that 10K or that 50K in my account. You know, every
sounds like transactions, Cheryl.
No, it's still love, but here's the thing.
I ain't saying
I ain't heard a lick of love being mentioned yet.
No,
digger.
I still need to be taken care of. Let's go back to your friend, Jonathan. I bet you neither one of his wives are hurting for anything. You think those ladies are sitting over there broke?
Not at all. They all have different businesses and things. When I met them, they were in one of their businesses. They were all working in one of their businesses. So they all live in one big house and whatever, and they do their thing. And
but
so
they are taken care of. They run
they
the
are
business
well taken
together,
care of.
but they are
And
well
so
taken care
They
of.
were already. What it sounds like they're already established as well.
They are.
So
they are established.
Also, I don't want to bring, and I don't think it matters whether it's more than one person, or whether it's monogamy or not. I don't want to bring anybody into my life who's not going to add to my life.
Yeah, you're going to add value, but I'm not looking for a 50-50 husband. Oh, the fuck I ain't.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I
What I'm
don't think
looking
nothing's
for
ever really
a
gonna be
husband
50-50. I
for?
think that's a imagination thing.
Yeah, that's an imagination thing.
That's
Where
a
they
myth.
do that at?
Yeah,
That's
That's
a
a
myth.
Yeah, not trans. See, okay, you feel me? It's transaction.
Well, I don't care what you call it, but if you taking care of your wife and she suck your dick, it's still a transaction. You call it what you want.
No, that's called love.
I'm just
Don't
being
do
real
don't do
with you.
that. Don't
It's
do that.
transactional. It's
Don't do that. That's love. There are women who do that out of love, and that's why they happy too.
And they probably struggling somewhere. I don't want to
No,
struggle. I
not
don't want
every
to
woman who
struggle.
does it out of love is struggling. They are
Well,
happy.
whatever. Look, you
Just her
misunderstand what
jawbone is
y'all are
struggling.
trying to
That's what
twist
I'm
it. Listen.
Just her
Don't
jaw
do
is
that.
struggling.
Don't do that shit. I'm not going to be in a relationship with a broke person. Y'all can call that whatever the fuck you want to
This
call
is
it.
your
I'm not
preference. We
going to do
respect
that.
it.
Okay,
You know what?
you can
It
call it
is
transactional. You can call me
it
whatever
is
you
your
want.
choice. It
I
is your
need a
choice.
person who is just established as I am. I'm not finna get with somebody who ain't got no money. Period. He
No
got to be
that's why I
doing
money,
said
no
something with
the
honey,
himself.
rules of
no.
what
That's
you
whether we're in a
whether
monogamous
it's just you
relationship
or
or whether we're in a polyamory relationship. Whichever the relationship is, he better not come broke. What I'm gonna do with a broke man?
Well, you
no.
know what?
You see,
I wish you would say that because there are so many men with money out there that are sharing their women.
they really are.
And they are doing it
with
not
a
in a
broke,
polyamory way.
a broke brother. And
No, now
Jody
here's the
don't
thing,
have
though,
nothing
Cheryl.
to offer.
Cheryl, let me give you the
Well,
truth though.
that's them women. They
Let me give
kind
you
of
the truth
dumb.
though. Most men with money are not going to be loyal. Most men
Well,
with money.
listen. That's where parallel polyamory will work for me. I'm not saying I have a problem with it. I'm just saying I don't want to live in the house with the same woman. You see what I'm saying?
Nick Cannon.
They would
all
have to
those
be
different.
independent of the other.
Cheryl, you got a question, Cheryl?
What's the question?
What defines a broke man?
A broke man?
He got no money. If he don't have no money, he probably broke in. But that mindset, a broken mindset, and don't have no money. Because if you can't take care of me, why am I struggling and striving with you and you still going over there to see what's her name? It's no benefit for me.
Are we talking about net worth, cash flow? What determines a broke man? Is he if he has a
mentally,
$5
spiritually,
million
and physically broke, financially broke?
What if he identifies as trans wealthy?
If that means that's my kind of man. Because if he identifies as trans wealthy, that means that means he's moving forward. He got some progress going. He got some motion in the ocean over there on his absolutely. If he's trans wealthy, we right here. Because I'm trans wealthy too. We will be right there together. All right, so parallel. That's one. But guess what? There's some other ones. What do you say?
Okay. Sharing good cat will make your hair grow back.
Will make your hair grow back.
I can't read it. I don't know what that says.
Well, I guess you can say I'm stingy then, my boy.
Okay, so it's some other kinds. That's parallel. That means, hey, we're in a relationship together and you have a separate relationship and I have a separate relationship. But it's balanced, okay? Because not only does my husband have a separate relationship, I get to have one too. That's parallel. They're independent of the other.
You said it earlier. I want to make sure people understand this though. The thing about it is, well, no matter what your relationship is, all right, make sure that your standards, your expectations, the things that you desire, you don't adjust them based on what the other person wants. Make sure whether it's a monogamous relationship or polyamorous relationship, your standards should be your standard. So what you're looking for in a partner, if it's in a just strictly a monogamy situation, it shouldn't change. If there's more than one person, it should still be the same expectations, same standards. Like it shouldn't shift, shouldn't change. So, for instance, I've heard women ask this question: well, if the man can see other women, what about the woman? And my question is always the same: what is that? What you want?
Absolutely, that's what I want.
But if that's what you want, then you shouldn't have to ask. Well, what about the woman? Make it known.
I ain't gonna ask.
If that's the question, and here's my rebuttal to that part though. But if that's how you feel, why are you looking for monogamy anyway? Then?
Who would be looking for monogamy if we're talking about polyamory?
But that's my point. There are a lot of people who ask about that. That's all I'm saying. We're having an open discussion about that part. There are a lot of people who will say the man and two women. They say, well, if the man can have another woman, what about the women? Do they get to have another man? And it's all based on what your preference is. It shouldn't shift because the man has made it known he wants more than one woman. Coming into this relationship, did you want to be monogamous? Or did you want to have more than one partner?
Well, coming into the relationship, I know a lot of women, which this just drives me crazy with some women. They'll be just as heterosexual as they can be. And then they'll get with a guy and he wants to be polyamorous. And all of a sudden she bisexual. Like, since when? You doing that, but you're shifting, like you said, your perspective. Don't do that. But I think we read at the beginning of that, part of that is open and honest communication. So if you have a relationship where they want that has to be established in the beginning. That's just like doing vows. If you're going to do your vows for a monogamous relationship, you state what is and what's not. It's the same way with polyamory, right?
Well, that's because some people's values are fluid. You know, they're like, I stand for this. But if this opens up, some people's standards are just user friendly.
You see my face? I know a lady that's in this relationship right now. She's in a polyamory relationship. And the only reason she's really doing it, although she hasn't admitted this out loud, is because her husband wants it. She doesn't want it, but her husband wants it, so she complies because she loves her husband. She's miserable.
Then she needs to get out of it. Let me make this rule. That's a big rule in polyamory. I think people need to also pay attention to. It's never something that should be forced. If you're doing it with reluctance, then you are in it for the wrong reasons.
He doesn't know she's doing it for reluctance.
She does. What I'm saying is she needs to speak up. She will forever be miserable.
She's gonna be miserable because he has money. He has money. She ain't going nowhere.
And that buys her silence.
She in prison.
There it is.
Of her own choosing. She's in the prison of her own choosing. If she wanted to get out, all she had to do was put one foot in front of the other. Pete and repeat. Pete and repeat. And she can walk her happy black ass, she's black, out the door.
This particular one is not. Her husband is black and she is white.
Tell her swing them happy hips on out the door if she ain't happy.
So she doesn't like it. He's unhappy about the decision, but she won't go because
she loves him, she says.
Oh.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. There's no wonder you get D's and everything.
I don't think it's dumb. I don't think it's dumb. But just like you said, people do stuff for love. So if people do stuff for love, she's there for love.
You just said it. Why won't she? You said he got money.
He got money, and she says she loved him.
I don't buy it. I think the money outweighs the love on that part.
I don't know. She love him. If she does, she
tried everything.
If you really love that person, and if you really made them that happy, if it was really about the love, this wouldn't bother you.
If it's really about the love and you want a monogamous relationship, say you want a monogamous relationship.
Say that, but you won't say that. Why you won't say it though? That's what I'm trying to get to.
I would say it. I would be like, no, that's not what I want.
It's because you're vocally expressive. We all know that.
Oh my God.
So this is something that Dr. Solomon Turfer from Alcorn State University, and I hope he knows that I hope he knows today that I was listening to everything he said. But one of the things he said was that everything is political, even in relationships. So even in a marriage, everything is political because now you get a chance to say what goes, what doesn't go, what ebbs, what flows. And if she's not feeling that, even though she loves him, there is some communication that needs to come because this is a political arena. I give and you give, we all get along. But if I'm giving and you not giving, then we can't get along. So she needs to have some kind of resentment. So it's a political. She's not speaking up.
Oh my God.
Well, there are other kinds of polyamory relationships. Y'all thought that was it. It's not. It's not.
It's a whole bunch.
Okay,
it's a whole bunch.
It's one called relationship anarchy. Y'all want to know what relationship anarchy? I was so fascinated.
They hitting everything that moves. It don't even matter.
Look, if you all want to know what this is, you can go to the attachmentproject.com.
So I know a chick. What's her name? I think she's on Instagram like Nurse J Becky or something like that. And she talked about, she was getting her prep and everything. And people were asking about it. And she said, that's not because I'm dating somebody who has AIDS. It's not that. It's the fact that I'm in open relationships. I'm in multiple open relationships. And people were like, what? Like you just like, and she was like, no, it's not about sex. Do I have sex with them? Some of them, yes. She said, but I actually have connections with these people. Like we have real rapport. We have it's deeper.
And guess what that's called? It has a name.
It's called having fun.
It's called kitchen table polyamory.
That
they put a name to it. So that's what we're doing.
It's a name for
polyamory. It's because she's in those relationships, but they're not all romantic, but they are connections. Like they feel like they're spiritual, emotional connections. So they can have one or all three of the elements. They can have sexual, emotional, and I forget that the romantic connections, or they don't have to. They can have pieces and parts of it. It's called kitchen table polyamory, and it's
very interesting.
Family style bonds. So it just depends. So it sounds like that's what she.
What does that mean? What's a family style bond? What is that?
It says even between people who are not romantically involved. That means she has some people that she's involved with romantically, some people that she's not, but they're still really close in that connection. They may be emotional support that she's getting. For example, you could have 4 people living in the house together, and you may be getting emotional support from one, physically sexual support from another, and just romantic stuff from someone else where you go on dates and stuff. So like say gay men do this. They call it a whole village. It's a village. Yeah, they call it it's a kitchen table polyamory.
But what it is also too, there is no secrets. Everybody,
there is no secrets. Everybody,
they understand the connection. Like, but at the same time, it's not like our bonds have to intertwine.
Right.
What you have with this person is between y'all. I don't necessarily need to know the details. What I have with this person don't, and then what you and I have is for us. They don't have to know the details, but everybody knows where the connections are.
And here's the thing. Here's another one. I was about to get on relationship anarchy. All the situationships, if you're in a situationship and you happen to come across this, you are indeed in a relationship anarchy. Here it is. It's called, not only is there no differentiation between partners' roles within that relationship, but there are no labels. No labels.
Yep. That's for
no
non-committed.
Those are for
non-committed. Those are people who, hey.
That's a situation.
Hey, so what are we? Hey, we just kicking
no labels. That's what you are. We
just seeing how things go.
Oh, here, this is the other thing.
Where is Walk at? I know he got a bunch of them.
Here
that sounds like some deacons I knew back in the day.
It says there are no partners, spouses, dates, or lovers. No partners, spouses, dates, or lovers in the relationship anarchy. Y'all are just doing your thing. You're free balling it or free catting it. Dude, make sure you take your prep.
We just people.
Just make sure
we're just ordinary people.
So basically, you just show up and just dive in, right? Like
go get him, son. Go get him, son.
I'm pretty sure that the people who are in that type of dynamic are I hope to God they're doing safety. They're protecting themselves.
That's what I learned about that part. It's prep. That's what it's called.
But that's cool. Now this one messed me up. This next one, solo polyamory, really, really kind of F with me.
All right, so I'm gonna let you have the solo spotlight so you can further explain in detail.
All right, let's talk about solo
polyamory.
Solo polyamory. This is for many the best way to maintain their freedom. It's essentially the lone wolf version of polyamory, where a person has relationships with as many people and to whatever degree of commitment they wish. But these connections are completely independent of each other. So solo polyamory differs from parallel in regards to the fact that within parallel polyamory, there are conversations that are being had between the partners. But with the solo polyamory, there is no need to keep anyone else in the loop because this person considers themselves. So they are not going to share who they're in a relationship with any of their partners whatsoever. That one messed me up.
That's called being a player.
That's called being a player. So if you're a player, it's solo polyamory. That shit is wild. It's a name for it though. Who knew?
Sounds like that was called
007.
You never knew how many bug girls he knew.
But yeah, solo polyamory. Oh my goodness. They have another one called Garden Variety. and another one called polyfidelity. When I tell y'all, it's a bunch of different ones, and it ties into attachment style. So if you want to check this out, go to the attachmentproject.com to get more information, because it talks about avoiding attachment styles versus anxious attachment styles versus secure attachments. So it depends on which attachment style you're in, because if you're not securely attached, polyamory probably ain't for you. If you are an avoidant, you would love being the lone wolf one, the solo polyamorous, because you're a dismissive avoidant. That means that you don't connect emotionally to people. It scares you for whatever reason and you run the fuck away. People who are anxious attachment style, some of those women would do really well in a polyamorous relationship, because you already have your rules within that relationship of what you're going to do and not do. So I can see a lot of women with anxiety attachment style really loving to be in a partnership where they know where their man is, even if that man has another wife or another girlfriend. I can see that bringing them some sense of comfort because they know where the man is. You know what I mean?
I know exactly
Makes
what you
sense to
mean.
me.
I want to make sure that everybody understands the reason we even having this discussion is because there are people who live different lifestyles.
Right.
And everything ain't for everybody, but at the same time, just because it's for you, it's not for you, doesn't mean that you get to judge, criticize, and especially speak on something that you're not fully informed about.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who are absolutely happy in life because now they finally have clarity. Now
Right.
they finally have understanding. There are people who truly believe you can love more than one person at a time. Here's the thing I always tell people. Ask yourself, you had an ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend at one point in time that you absolutely love, ex-husband, ex-wife. If you've been remarried, if you've got a whole nother person and you love them, I mean, it's not the same amount of love. It's not the same type of love, because how you love one person is never going to be exactly like you love the next. But if you were truly incapable of loving more than one person, how did you get to the next person?
You fell out of love with that other person.
I don't think
You
that,
fell out
but
of
see,
love.
here's the thing. I don't think we always truly just fall all the way
Do
out
you
of
still
love with
love your
people unless you
ex-wife?
just absolutely hate that person.
Do you still love your ex-wife?
I'm not answering that question.
I don't love my ex-husband.
I am not answering that question because I know somebody might still be watching.
Jonathan, do you still love your ex-wife?
I
Wives?
do not.
I
As a
don't love my
person,
ex-husband.
so I'll say this. As a person, I wouldn't
Mhm.
want to see her get hurt, but
Right.
particularly because
Yeah,
it's our
no.
daughters, So as a person, as a child of God, I want her to be safe. But am I
Right.
in love with her? No.
Right. No.
Do I want to come
Okay,
home
so if I'm
to her
answering
and
on the
provide for her?
political, I guess,
No.
whatever,
Okay.
are there any romantic? Hell no.
Right. And nothing
Yeah.
else.
But in a godly way, do I want to see any harm come to her? No.
No. Absolutely not.
I wish her nothing but the best. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, that's the father of my children, but I don't love him in a way where we can get. I don't know. It's a no. It's
But if I'm being
absolutely
honest,
no.
there are people from my past who I have loved that I actually still love to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, ain't no need to BS that. My wife know that.
I mean, I love them, but not in a romantic way. Not in a way where I want to go jump in the bed with them. It's not that kind of love.
Doesn't always have to be romantic. That's what I'm saying. You know, love is deeper
That's not
than
the
just
same
sex.
kind of love. There's different kinds of love.
But love is still deeper than sex, though. Love doesn't really have
It's
boundaries.
different kinds of love.
You're right. It is different kinds of love.
Mm-hmm. We can talk about that on another show, but yeah, it's not the same. I wouldn't equate certain kinds of love with a polyamorous relationship unless you're doing that kitchen table style shit.
No. What I'm saying is, in my young, before I was married, all right. So there may have been somebody that I was dating, but there was also somebody previously. It didn't work out between us, but that doesn't mean that there weren't still feelings and connections there, or whatever. And you just try to dead it. That's all you can really do because you've been raised to be this. You got a girlfriend. You be monogamous. You focus. Yada.
There'll always be something there.
Yeah, it's always
if you had a moment, you shared a moment in time. So there's always going to be some sort of connection. But for me, it doesn't.
I might be
it doesn't
no.
Come anywhere close to the connection I have with my wife, or so it's it's a completely different. Even though, hey, you know what? This person was good. We dated in high school. I have fun feelings for her because she was a great person. She turned to be a great mom. Not of my children, but however, I wish her the best. I want her to be happy.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, you know what I'm saying?
I get that.
Look,
okay.
I'll be a reference for her.
Right.
I'll be a reference for her and everything else for jobs and stuff. But
I get it. I guess I get it. I don't know, because when I cut it off, I cut it off. But I got some examples in there of really successful couples, thruples, polyamory couples. I don't know what we call them. But click that first one, because somebody's gonna have to read it. I think I got mine up over here. Hold on.
I got you.
So read that first example.
So it says relationships come in all shapes and forms. So yeah, we ask some poly side of the community or whatever. Here we go. Number one, I've been in a 4-way polyamorous relationship for going on 2 years now. I started with my husband and I. It started with my husband and I. Then we decided to open up because I'm bisexual, and I had a crush on one of my friends. Now me, her, and my husband and her husband all consider ourselves in a relationship. There are 3 children between the 4 of us, and things have been going wonderfully so far. It takes a lot of work and open communication. We all feel as though we've grown individually and in every relationship dynamic within our quad. Feelings of jealousy still pop up, but it leads to open discussions about why we felt jealous and what are we missing in our relationship in order to help. The relationship dynamic has forced me to look within myself, dissect my insecurities, and tell my husband what I need very specifically. It's allowed me to explore new things emotionally, romantically, and sexually. It hasn't always been easy, but I truly love where all of my relationships are at this point.
You know what? I love all this love and love. That's cool. I have a question.
What?
If somebody should happen to meet their demise, what's that estate plan look like? All 4 of them involved?
That's a good question. But think about it. That first
only
couple
one person
that's the family.
It's 2 separate couples that decided to become a quad.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure
it's 4 kids in between. Are they kids
they
from
didn't say
different
what the
other
3
people?
kids. They didn't say.
Okay,
they just said 3 kids in between them. But I mean, I would assume if one person, there's still the other parent.
Yeah.
Around.
Right. So if you have kids with different women, how does that?
But at the same time, they're still one unit. You see what I'm saying? They still one unit.
They're one unit, but think about it. I guess with the insurance and stuff and the estates.
Oh, well, the legalities of it. That's why also.
Yeah, the legalities and stuff. I'm pretty sure it would be legally, because we're in America. Illegally, it'll be still that couple and their child or children, and this couple and their insurance needs and their insurance needs and their legal needs and their wills and their wills. In a will, Jonathan, they can fix that how they want to fix it.
But in absence of a will, and probate takes over.
That's something. That's a whole different discussion.
That's gonna be a mess.
Yeah, we're not going there.
Mess. Yeah,
but I got 2 other examples that was a little different too.
That popped in my head. Y'all know me.
Yeah, he went straight to issues. It was a different one. The second one,
I went straight to
the next one is
polycurious. I like the polycurious. That was a new term.
Yeah, I guess you could say that my husband and I are polycurious. My husband does not pursue other relationships because he's not interested, but he and I are very happy together, and he is completely understanding of me pursuing another relationship. Our main rules are no secrets and no lying, which is what people ask for. Just be honest.
Isn't that what Monique had with her husband?
What?
I honestly don't know what Monique had.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're not gonna speak on it because I have no clue. No clue. But I do like that she even pointed out, like we were talking about earlier, where she has the preference for that, but he doesn't.
Exactly. So she was able to, and he kept her, but she was out and everything. If she wanted to do, she could, and she would tell him she was open or whatever.
And my thing, like I've always told you, just be honest about what your desires are, because again, when you're talking your marriages, and that's what people are what I've seen in these last couple, they're marriages. And forever is a mighty long time.
Absolutely,
so
it is.
How do you want to do forever?
Short.
You see
forever short. This life is short.
If you blink, it can.
It is.
But at the same time, you know, you'll have people who made 18, 19 years into the marriage, and then they look at each other and be going like, damn, we've been on the same motherfucking thing. Like, you still like this? Hell, do I still like this?
I don't know. The Bible says it's time to do a new thing.
I will tell you this. Even with that, you can try all kind of creative shit in your marriage too.
You can.
But if you've been together for that long, think about how much you grow. Like, I got married when I was 18 and my ex was 23. We were not truly fully into adulthood yet, right? And then we were married for 25 years. And trust me, we did a lot of tricks and all kind of shit, you know, because we were just trying to keep it spicy or whatever in the bedroom. But even in that, we grew apart. Now, I felt like we could have overcame whatever, because I'm that girl. Like, hey, you had an affair? Okay, cool. Let's get past that. But when you get and this happens a lot, not just in my relationship, then my ex decided he wanted to do forever with someone else, because again, he had grown apart from me and he had grown closer to someone else. The grass is green where you water it, baby. Okay.
Man, exactly where you
And
water
so
it.
he started to water grass elsewhere, and it became greener and greener. And they are together. We divorced and they married, and they're still married. I could talk about it now because I recognize 25 years, like Wayne said, that's a long time to be with somebody, and you do grow, you do change, you do evolve. And I think the lesson to take from that, when that happens, I wish my ex would have been a little bit more forthcoming and open with how he wanted to move forward. The way ours ended was a little bit deceptive, and that's not what polyamory is. And I think that's why, even though I don't agree with the concept fully, I respect the fuck out of it. I respect that style of relationship because of the openness and the honesty. And that you don't have that in monogamous relationships because we're too busy keeping secrets from each other. In polyamorous relationships, most of the time, they're not keeping secrets from each other. They're bringing everything to the table because that's how the dynamic is set up to be. You know? Now, I'm going to tell you something it's not, because I put a real in here. I put it in the wrong place, but it is not cheating. It is not hiding a relationship from the other spouse. That is cheating, okay? Is a difference. These people we talking about on the polyamorous side, they ain't cheating. But I found this reel really interesting, and I don't want to give it away. Can you play that one? Will it play? Let's see if it'll play.
All this stuff, this shit going right now. I'm taking all this to court with me. All this is evidence. I can get this evidence. Hey,
Oh, you can't make it bigger?
What are you doing? How are you? Who's your friend? Who's your friend? Who's your friend? No, I'm getting this because we're getting a divorce, and I need all the evidence that I can get. This is the third or fourth woman that I caught him with. And who is?
Damn.
You can call me baby mama because you finna be on some child support. Because what you mean? We just came back. All this stuff came back. I'm taking all this. You just proposed to me. You just proposed because I need. You just asked me to renew our vows after 20 years, and you're gonna be in here with her? Oh no, they're gonna get all this evidence going right to court. And guess what? I'm not getting half. I'm getting about 70% on that. You know, these kids are older. So how long y'all been married?
How many kids are in that stroller?
Okay. He just asked me to renew our vows last week. When did he take you? When did he take you?
It look bad, dog.
All he gonna take you these days. I bet you he ain't helping you with him though. I bet you he ain't. I bet you he not helping you. I bet you he not helping you.
It look bad.
Yeah. Hey, y'all.
That right there. That what I be talking about. That's a cheater.
If that dude has a passport,
that line and everything. But guess what, Cheryl? Guess what he got? Guess what he got, Cheryl?
What?
Guess what he got?
I don't know.
He got
child support.
He got money.
Obviously, he got money.
Well, let me say this. Yeah, he was money. Just in. But he gonna have to break. He gonna have to break some bread.
Yeah, he about to have
so that wife, if there's no prenup,
he had no
or postnup,
No,
He
like
said, "These are my kids."
Bro, this my
Like he
kid's
wasn't
birthday.
even.
Yep, he said these are my kids'
birthday. Dog, she said you wanted to renew y'all wedding vows for y'all
after
children.
20 years.
After
20 years?
So if he doesn't have,
You
he
looking
doesn't have
at
a post
couple of
nup or
kids
prenup.
in strollers.
But here's the crazy part. She said she had caught him with several women. He didn't have no respect for her, no way. Or their marriage. Because she said, I caught him with several women already.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the part that I be trying to
not polyamory, y'all. That's just
not
cheating.
polyamory. And what that is what polyamory is trying to do away with.
Right.
Because there are women who are out here looking silly because of silly men like him.
Mm-hmm.
And you out here thinking she thought she had a whole family. They got the strollers, they in the mall. We chilling.
Guess what? I'm gonna say this.
You didn't expect that man's wife to walk up, did you?
She ain't going nowhere. The one in the stroller with the kids, she ain't going nowhere.
No, she ain't going nowhere.
She ain't going nowhere. And once that wife move out of pocket, she gonna feel like, well, you know what? Maybe I can put up with a little stuff. I'm gonna move. If I can move into the wife's spot with the kids, I'll be good. No, she
didn't realize there was a wife. She didn't realize it until that woman walked up.
But even now, she ain't moving out of her spot. She's still like, she's like, oh, okay, all right, bet I got 2 of his kids.
She did mention that they were both dumb, though. She said, "You dumb and I'm dumber, I guess."
That's the point I try to say. They try to question the sense in other people who look into the poly lifestyle, and I'm like, okay, but you out here looking for monogamy, and then you find yourself in that.
Right, definitely do some research into it.
Come
and
on,
not only
man,
that, learn your attachment style. People need to know their attachment style. If you're a secure attachment style, you could rock a poly relationship, no problem, because you're secure within yourself, and you're gonna be open and honest with whatever partner you're with and whatever agreement y'all come to as to what it will and won't be in your dynamic of a poly relationship.
Now, Granny, I'm gonna push back. You don't like that. How would you know they'll be successful in it? Because you don't even like it. So how would you know?
I don't know. I have no clue, but I'm just assuming. I know a couple that's doing real well. They have open relationships, and they fine. Now I gave you the one example of that one couple, but I know another couple that's doing real well, and they are a polyamorous couple. They're the hierarchical type. You know what I mean? Like it's the main woman, it's the husband and the wife, and they will pull in a third.
So did you discuss the difference? What the difference between polygamy and polyamory was?
Oh, polygamy means you have more than one wife, and polyamory is just more than one partner, not married. Yeah, but you could be married to one and not the other. Like in the case of your friends, one is a common law wife, the other one is a legal wife. Like
so you
that.
can have different relationships within the relationship, but it's still there's no secrets. It's multiple partners, however you want to do it or whatever. But polygamy is definitely, that's my wife, this my wife. Nobody gets any different treatment.
Right.
We celebrate together, we live together, we grow together, we build together. Their kids, my kids, their kids, whatever. And really, it's not outsider kids. It's usually that one man is the father to the children between the 2 women. Right. But it's all one foundation.
And that's one type of relationship. Non-hierarchy polyamory. It's not the same for everybody.
Am I right?
Look, I'm so glad you said Father Abraham.
You can pick your poison on
Father Abraham.
Right. And I'm pretty sure that jealousy crops up in all of these type of different dynamics. I don't know what that says.
Yep. Father Abraham, 2 wives, Jacob 4.
Abraham, 2 wives, Jacob 4 wives, David had 4 wives, Solo 700.
Yep.
700.
And he had just as many concubines.
But you know, it goes on and on and on. But then it clearly says, and they all found favor in the eyes of the Lord. I was just reading the Bible.
Girl, that was Old Testament. That was before Jesus came back and said, we're going to do away with that.
Found favor in the Lord.
That was a long time ago. If you believe in the Bible and if you follow, Christian Judaic principles, that is. We can't assume everybody does. I'm just saying.
No, you can't. But at the same time, I know that's one of the biggest things about it. And I'll dig it up to this part. But one of the biggest things about it, because Christianity is always big about you going to hell. And they said it about a lot of stuff. You're going to hell. You're going to hell. looking at them women. You're going to hell.
Oh man, if you think wrong, you're going to hell. If you blink
Going to
wrong,
hell.
you're going to hell. Like period. You roll your eyes, you're going to hell. So.
That's why I said
Well,
we got to start with the judgment, man. You know, you ain't God. You don't. And this Bible been stripped and rewritten and done all kinds of different ways. Whatever. Cool.
Well, what if the Quran lets me have more than one wife?
Well, that's your religion, and if that's the bounds within your religion that you follow, then that's the bounds within your religion that you follow. Now, I feel bad for that little girl that married Kevin Gates for 52 days and got her feelings hurt because then he came up on his reel or his live and just really dragged her ass like really bad. It was terrible.
And she is from the SWAC. My girl graduated from Jackson State University. She did.
But here's the reason I don't feel bad for her. Is because we all make choices. First of all, we all know who Kevin Gates is.
Yeah.
Kevin
whether he found Allah or not, we still know who Kevin Gates is. And Kevin Gates had a drinker, and Kevin Gates still botched a drinker. That I know.
He said they're still married. They have also an open relationship. They have an open marriage.
But he went off and then married Brittany Renner and whatever, and then cool. They done at the 52 days. But even before she married him, she was in transition. You could tell she's searching for something.
Yeah, she is.
But it's unfortunate she found him. But she's searching
along the path.
She'll find it. Eventually she will find whatever it is she's looking for. And it may not even be a relationship. It may be something internal.
He did try to protect. They asked about her, and he didn't speak ill of her when they.
He did not.
He spoke very well about her, like more so in the fact of protection.
Mm-hmm.
I will not speak. I will not speak on those that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? I do what you will.
Now he loved everybody. Now that's an example of what you were talking about when you can love multiple people at one time. Kevin Gates is a perfect example of that, I think. You can love a lot of people. And he'll tell you he go out for energy. If your energy right or whatever, he could love you to death. So that's the
biological women, trans women.
But you know what I thought about something though. Because it was funny how I was prepping for the show. And Next Lifetime by Erykah Badu came on.
Really? I love that song.
Oh, I love that song. But at the same time, if this state of mind of the pilot lifestyle existed, it wouldn't exist. Because when you listen to it, it was never about sex. When she talked about that, man, she spoke about it in a beautiful way. A beautiful way. First time that I saw you, it was a warm and sunny day. You remember? You smiled at me so warm and free. You made me feel like a little bitty girl.
What do you do to me?
It wasn't based in sex. Your energy feels so damn good to me. You know what I'm saying? It picks me up. It's
don't want to come down. Yeah.
It's beautiful. But she got a man though, right? She got a man though. And the thing is, when we listen to the song, nobody really ever said Eric out her mind. She chose not to enter into it, but she still felt something with that person. Again, I always say it's always possible. It's always possible to build connection with people.
It is.
It is.
I'm like, well, I'm a female. I mean, you can have
A to the motherfucking J.
You could have the master key to you, and I'm the lock, you the key. I don't want a whole bunch of different keys going in my lock. Okay?
And listen, and I get you. I
don't want a bunch of keys.
You don't have to have a bunch of keys, but usually when you get a house, what you have to have?
You have to have a few keys.
You gotta have a few.
so only one person will have the key to come in and water the kitty.
It's the master key.
You gotta have
you need to have a spare.
Not in this world with these nasty mofos. No, I won't.
The water.
No, I won't, baby.
You'll never find.
Hey, listen, I don't know. I think it works for a lot of women who are bisexual. I think it works. I think it works for a lot of men who are openly bisexual for sure.
I think it works if you're just not a general person, period.
It works. I mean, if you're not one that's if you're a person who can't be monogamous and you're going to step out, I don't know The only type of relationship that would work for you would probably be that one where you're the lone wolf, where you're single and
I
you can do
also think
what
it's
you
a
want.
feeling of security. A lot of people are afraid of dealing with things like that because of the feeling of insecure. There are always questions, worried about the other person, yada yada yada. When you're secure in yourself, I don't care about nobody else.
Yeah,
Like
right.
what you do with somebody else don't affect me because I'm still gonna be me. I'm still they can't do what I do. They can't bring what I bring. They can't offer you what I have to offer you. So like if you kicking, like you said, if it's hypothetically, if it's the three of us, you kicking with Jayhawk, I don't need to know what you and Jayhawk do. I'm not concerned about what how y'all been hanging out, how you been screwing, how long. I don't care. My business is with you. And so we do what we do, yada yada yada. Hey, I'm going to holler at Jayhawk. All right, cool, do your thing.
Yeah, cool. So you didn't want to stay in the same house with me and Jayhawk, though, do you? You want to stay in the house?
If that was something that I was
if that
interested
was
in,
like our
I'm not
dynamic,
interested in that. But there are some people who are.
Got to be a big ass house.
that have to be right.
Left wing, right wing.
That have to be a very,
because I ain't gonna lie to you now. What I don't know and don't need to know the two different things.
Right.
I'm kind of like Kevin Hart. Don't no man have an ego till they hear the headboard. That headboard is a motherfucker. If I can hear that headboard going down.
It's a problem. It's a problem.
Hey.
Oh my God. It was a movie one time. It was the two boys. I'm gonna find that movie and I'm gonna send it to y'all. It's the two men and the girl, and she gets kidnapped, and they're like drug dealers. And she's describing, and what caught me by surprise when I watched this movie, and it's one of those movies where they have to get her, she's taken captive and they have to pay a ransom and all that. But anyway,
damn, sounds like a Diddy episode. But go ahead.
It's a great movie. But when it comes on, she's like having sex with this one guy, and then she's describing him, and then it's flipped the script and she with this other guy, and I'm like, I'm so confused. Like, what just happened? I don't know what's happening. But they were in a polyamory throuple or whatever, and she had two lovers, and she was explaining how they were each so very different. She was the narrator of the story, and she was telling how they had rescued her, and that just blew my mind because this was back in the early 2000s when this movie came out. I think it has that guy that passed away in it. He was in the Fast and the Furious. Paul Walker. Paul Walker is in this movie. I'm gonna find it and send it to y'all. That's the first time I ever really saw like a modern take on it, and I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" You know. And that was very judgmental about it, and I'm learning. I'm so I was like, "What the fuck?"
Sure, I give you this much, bro. You be honest about your shit. I'm very judgmental, and I don't care what you think.
I watched the whole movie, but I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
I am conservative here. I am not changing my values. Damn you. Damn you.
They're definitely changing. That's why the title of the show is Mind Your Business and Let Them People Be Happy. Because at the end of the day, it does not matter what I think or anybody thinks. For the people who are in these dynamics, they are happy. And they don't care what the outside world says. They are at peace. They have community. They have each other. And most of all, and most importantly, they have love. And that probably trumps everything else. I mean, let them be happy. You know,
and I think that goes beyond just poly and all that. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a buck with you, man. Look, we got to stop. Let gay, bisexual, the whole LGBT, let them folk be.
Yeah, let them be.
They live in it now. You know, I get it. Sometimes stuff get paraded around in front of you, whatever. Cool. All right, you look the other way, but yet and still, they have every right. The same way you take your wife out to dinner or you go out and have a date night or whatever, they deserve to have the right to do that too, man. Let folks just be, bro. Let them folk be happy.
And we're going to talk about another subgenre at another point, but the people who like kinks, you have people who like kinks. You have the daddy doms and the and the submissives. You have couples who are like that. You
got women who like to mess with men's ass.
You have that. You have that. I'm gonna look up the name of that, AJ. You do have that. You have men who like to be paid. You ain't gonna get on there. You have men who like to be paid. You have them like to be choked. You have them that like to be spanked. You have all different kinds of relationships out here in this world. I'm about to look that movie up too, right quick, because I want all y'all to go see it before we dismiss. But y'all got any last words while I'm looking this up?
You know what? We actually we began this process talking about elongated muskrat, Elon Muskrat, right? Elon Musk. And I guess we'll finish it with him because at this point he has 13 different kids, and all the women seem to be pretty much on board. He takes care of them, and so that is possibly a form of polyamory, right?
With
Nick Cannon, there's
Nick Cannon don't have them all under one roof though. Nick Cannon got them spread out.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's still a form of polyamory. It's spread out, but that's parallel.
Yeah, it's just not under one roof.
Elon and
that's called a parallel.
And Nick and Cam Newton, Cam Newton. So hey, that's just a few.
I would say, man, when you make money, you get to set your own rules. There are some people who are willing to play by that. If money is the motivator.
That's true.
But I still say your relationship, your marriage, all of this is whatever you want it to be. Just make sure you set the rules early. Don't jump 10 years into the relationship and then think you're gonna change the rules up, and then you don't know why your partner mad. Because they didn't sign up for this.
Right.
Don't be at the mall with
That's
your
a lot
twins.
of times why it don't work, because they didn't sign up for it. I could see if it was in the beginning, but you can't wait a decade in and be like, yeah, I want to have another person join us. What?
And I wouldn't even start that. Like, have the conversations. Like, okay, like you say, as you grow, you change. All right. So habits change. The how often you had sex early on in the relationship and then in the marriage and things, it could change 10, 12, 15, 20 years down the line. Okay, but if it's a one-sided thing, then that means the other person's needs are not being met. Don't be scared to say something.
I know the name of the movie. It's Savages. The name of the movie is Savages. It came out in 2012.
That sounds like what you was describing. That sounds like something savage.
Yeah. Pot growers Ben and Sean face off against the Mexican drug cartel because their girlfriend got kidnapped, and they have the same girlfriend. Y'all go check that out. Savages came out in 2012. That was such a good freaking movie.
See, and that works for her because if she had come up missing in a monogamy relationship, only one man was coming. She got two.
And when I tell you they went hard in the paint for her, baby, they went hard in the paint getting her back.
So in other words, that's Taken Part 2. Taken.
That was the original Taken. It came out before Taken. It sure did. It was really good.
Before Taken?
My last words here, man.
2012.
Oh damn! I guess so. Yeah.
Y'all make sure that they're representatives, they're people speaking out. They're telling you to call your representatives in your states and everything, because the only thing we have left to fight is our voices. So call your representatives in your state, man. We got to find a way to stop this big, beautiful bill, this big piece of bullshit.
Well, it's going to Trump's desk for signature right now
on July the 4th. I think it passed today, didn't it? And
it
so
did.
now
It did.
To the House.
The vice president actually had the deciding vote because it was a tie between the Democrats and
he sided with you.
He sided with Trump on that one. He sided with the Republicans.
But anyway,
I think there has to be revisions and stuff and all that. But
they are revising it, and it's getting worse. Yeah. That's what they're talking about.
Wait. It's gonna be a revision after it's been passed and it goes to the desk. I don't think
no. That's what they were talking about. They were revising it. I actually saw some senators.
I thought they were supposed to be revising it up until that day.
They were revising it as they were going through the votes.
I've been signing up for the
It's a negotiation. I told you, everybody was out for themselves.
It's terrible. Yeah,
but anyway, I know we got a wrap though.
Yeah, we got to wrap. We got to go. Y'all check us out on BWNC Radio tomorrow morning. If you are on the East Coast, 7:30 a.m. If you're on the here Central, it's 8:30 a.m. Did I say that right? 8:30 a.m. We got to go. Thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe to I Am Well Media Group, the 4040 Network, and Jayhawk's page. We love you all. Have a beautiful night. We'll talk later.
Well, see y'all later, guys.